We are all gods.
Can I make fun of the sound you guys use at the opening of the podcast? Because I think it's horrible.
Go for it.
Good.
Really? Why is it horrible?
Absolutely. It sounds like something that Stephen Hawking jacks off to.
Perfect.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
That's what we're going
Good.
for.
Make your joke. I don't care.
That's our market. That's who we're...
Because every time she says something, I'm just like, no, don't say that. Why are you saying that? No one would say that if they had a robot voice. It would be, get my fucking food, minion, or some shit like that. It wouldn't be, I like potatoes in my pantyhose, or some shit like that.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and put this online way ahead of where the credits roll.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I've been recording for like 15 minutes already.
Damn it, all my secrets are out.
All your secrets. Oh,
They don't know all my secrets.
Tapcast.
Oh,
Land. Go.
yep.
Damn it.
Damn it.
we're in trouble.
What's up, guys?
This is what happens when you start at 9 o'clock in the morning.
No shit.
You're 50% right now.
I know.
Yeah.
You have. I woke up. I probably was illegal driving over here. I should not have been awake.
Oh, it's Tapcast. It's draft day. This is Chad.
This is Neil.
And I'm Kenneth.
Kenneth, for the first time, we previewed you on the last podcast.
Wait, what now?
I talked about you on the last podcast.
Really?
I did not say Kenneth.
You
I
said
mentioned
monkey?
it once, and I said I can't say that because I've never known you as Kenneth.
Oh, hey, look at the camera not facing anybody, right?
Nice.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Dude, that corner was. They got the chalk thing over there. That was pretty interesting.
It was. So yeah, already mistakes. I don't care. It's draft day. We're gonna play a game. It's gonna be a good time. I don't even want to talk about Magic right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Let's talk
I
about.
don't even know why we're doing this.
Let's talk about why you have a blue microphone thing and no one else does.
Well, realistically, there's three of us in three different colors, so you can apply that statement to anyone.
There's a black and white.
Casper
this
didn't
guy
show
just
up
woke
today.
up and now he's in his house.
Take your pick. There's colors right there, man.
What color suits you?
What color does suit me?
The your green one, and I can't remember what you had. You had red, I think. But yeah, those are at the house.
You woke up.
You're keeping them. You're gonna have
to
us sign them later. And
I
put
have
them
no
on
idea
eBay?
why. They got put in a different bag, and I didn't bring them. Wow.
It still looks like a bag of clown noses.
It does. That's what I was thinking. I was like, what color would my clown nose be?
I was halfway expecting you to put one on. Actually,
I almost did, but then I'm on video, so I have to maintain dignity.
Have to maintain decorum.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got a whole 3 people who watch this to impress. Is
Yeah, a whole 3
that
people.
bad to like mess up the audience of the own podcast
I don't even
I'm
think
on right now?
we have a Tapcast following yet.
No.
We'll change that. I'll be. You guys watch that podcast where that dude shot that thing out of his butt?
I like how you almost said pedocast.
Yeah.
And this would have made this a very different show.
That would have. All right, guys. So, everyone, take out your phone. We're only 3 minutes from an elementary school, guys. You guys want to go hang out near the park?
Oh, I left my camera at home.
Let your camera home. Somehow,
Wins.
Recorded here.
what's that?
This one was not.
Even though the background is all the same.
Yeah,
Nothing. And you're actually on camera. You were on camera in your underwear.
people can see us.
Yeah, people
Hell
can see
yeah.
us. So what made you decide to finally come play?
I heard that a lot of people were coming out, and I didn't have racing today, so
You haven't gone racing in a long time.
I haven't gone racing in a long time. Once I got into the quadcopter stuff, I didn't want to go racing because the maintenance on an RC car is ridiculous if you want to be competitive. And
Just to clue people in, what's your total nut on how much you've spent on this, and how many cars have you had? That face.
throughout the entire my entire run from like 15 to now, or just like
No,
recently?
I'm talking about from like recently when you got back into it,
probably
like the last few years.
$8,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
Do you know how many Magic cards you could have bought for?
I know exactly how many Magic cards I could have bought.
Knowing how you buy cars, how many real cars could you have gotten for that?
Oh,
You could have had us the
3.
whole
I've
fleet.
never spent. I spent more on the go kart that I raced than than the truck that was towing it to the track. The truck was $300 or $750. The go kart was $3,900.
Yeah.
That including trailer cost.
Yes, because the trailer came with it.
Nice.
Picked it up out of Boston.
I bought my cart when I got that CRG. I think it was like somewhere like $8,000 I spent for that one.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was.
It came with the motor, and you never.
It had everything. It had.
Well,
No. It had the motor. Everything ran. It was a running cart.
the clutch was a
I
problem.
spun the clutch my first time out, like lap number 6.
No, remember the Bendix? You had to replace the Bendix.
That was the first thing I had to replace because that didn't work from the start.
And
Okay,
then-
yeah, that part didn't work from
and
the start.
we didn't put the case back on, the clutch bell back on the clutch, and we started that thing up, and the clutch just went because it was a centrifugal clutch.
Late at
and
night-
it just went flip.
Late
and
at night-
hit Chad in the eye.
Late at night, we're at his apartment complex. We've been working on this thing all day, and I even asked the question, like, "You think we should put the cover back on that clutch?"
No one asked that question.
Yeah, that should be an easy answer.
He thought that question, and he just goes, "Fire that bitch up." That's all he thought.
No, I asked you. I swear I asked you. And he like, we were just so tired. He just sort of stared at it and goes, "I don't think so."
And Chad agreed, though. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I agreed.
Chad goes, "Yeah, you're probably fine."
Yeah, I agreed, man.
And then we didn't think about the whole way this thing works is make fast, make go, boom. And the thing that it connects to wasn't there at all.
Torque makes very strong metal that you can't do this to go like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So,
It expands, and I'm just happy I didn't die.
yeah.
I bought a whole new vehicle to take this thing to the track.
did.
Went to the track once with it.
One time. Didn't even make 2 laps.
See,
No, I made 6. I made 6 before I spun the clutch and screwed it up again.
Oh, okay. Yep. And then we never went back.
See,
Never went back.
It sounds to me like you do what you say me and Kyle do. We find something, we go all in, and then it just kind of fades a
Yes.
little bit.
I have a $365 airplane sitting in the corner that I took to the field once. Tried to take off. The wheel fell off. I broke a propeller. I was like, I'm not good at this.
But what about the Mustang you bought? He bought this like P-51 Mustang that he was
That's
going to
the
install.
airplane.
That's what I'm
talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You actually flew it?
No.
Didn't get
You
off the
tried
ground.
to get to the field, and actually, the first time I flew it, would technically just means I took it to the street in front of my house and just tried the control surfaces, make sure everything was trimmed out. And I'm driving, and it has the little tiny curbs in the neighborhoods or whatever. And I found that one click on the throttle is the difference between not going anywhere and going way too fast. So it immediately picks the rear end up, turns to the left, and runs directly into the curb and breaks the landing gear off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, this is obviously onto a great start.
He buys this plane, and then he goes on the forums to ask like how to install the gyro and like
Now,
how
like
to,
level it, stuff like that.
yeah, like beginner stuff. And everyone's asking like, how many planes have you flown before? And he's like, 1. He's like, and you bought a Mustang? And so he sends me all these links, and he's like, am I just that retarded? Or are these people just clowning on me? I'm like,
They're jelly. Is what
Oh,
it is.
dude, the only thing pretty much all they said was,
if you fly, you gonna crash.
You're gonna crash. You gonna crash. It's gonna happen. And they were just like, put that beautiful Stang away. And I was like, but I don't have another plane. I don't want to go. I want to fly a plane. We're not really dealing with the problem. Obviously, you guys didn't just go, hold on, let me start with paper airplanes, move up to these balsa wood planes, and now I'm flying these crazy planes, And I was just like, I just want to fly the crazy planes. Can we do that? And that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
That's a whole thing.
It's like it's orchestra of noise.
Why are we not doing that all day? Every time someone says something good and it gets silent, just go.
To everyone listening, to everyone that downloaded this, aren't you happy you did?
This is what happens when you get us up in the morning,
Right?
For a pre-draft magic.
Pre-draft.
What are we supposed to talk about pre-draft? I really hope my cards are good.
You haven't. Yeah,
Have
you
done
haven't
any
looked at any
research at all?
cards.
You're walking
I did.
blind?
I did one of the
The mock drafts.
mock drafts. Don't remember any of the cards.
So what have you played since the Mirrodin era?
None.
The last game I played was at the RC Pro at the
The Pro Tour qualifier?
Pro Tour qualifier.
And that was Mirrodin Block, right?
Mirrodin
Right
Block.
when Fifth Dawn came out? Or no, what was it?
No.
What was right after it with the cranial platings?
No. We played all through Mirrodin Block.
Yeah,
The whole block.
Yeah, we
Okay.
played the whole block. But all I played, I didn't even
Kamigawa was
play.
afterwards.
Yep, Kamigawa.
And we walked out of the Pro Tour qualifier. We're like, nope.
Yep.
I remember
like-
buying Kamigawa. I bought the play sets of everything
Yeah.
for that one.
Yeah, walking out of the Pro Tour qualifier, we're walking out with no prizes. We've been there for like 15 hours. And we're like, this is dumb. We should play poker.
And then we just stopped. Like I remember, like up to that qualifier, we probably played 300 games a day. Like like I did in my head, just sitting there. I'm not going to name the place we were at when we did it, because if you say it 3 times, it shows up. And so, yeah, I got to stop. I'm very animated with my hand movements. No, just playing games all day, and I just got burnt out once I realized that when we got there, that wasn't nearly enough games.
I remember every break, every lunch time, like we would go grab something, like 15-minute drive, come back, play for 45 minutes, go right back to work.
On a 15-minute break, we would blast through like 10 games.
Yeah. Well, it helped that most wins were on turn 3.
Exactly.
Yeah, the game was much faster. The pace of the game is now like stupid slow.
Well, that's actually what's helped me quite a bit playing now, compared to when we started, was
because you've got outs. It's not so much dependent on like what you do on turn 1 and turn 2 that's going to dictate how your game's going to go.
Well, a lot of people think, okay, I have a land, maybe I have, a blast land or something as well. I can go with 5 other cards. Back then, you would mill down to 4, knowing that, those 4 cards you needed. A lot of people don't do that. They'll take whatever 7 gets thrown to them. Back then, if you did that, if you had to, wait a turn to draw into something, in your first 3 turns, you're done.
Yep. Yeah.
So, you really, for me, with, playing the Ravager Affinity, I could use all 7 cards in turn 1 sometimes.
Yeah, like like that Tooth and Nail deck I had, 4th turn, you were dead.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a question. Like I could get an 11/11 or an Abunus and a Platinum Angel and be done. That's all again. That's the game.
Yeah,
with the all the 0 artifacts.
Exactly.
It was very easy to I'm swinging on turn 2 for 16.
Well, with the way that Ravager Affinity played, like before Darksteel came along, I think before the last set in that block was, you could drop your entire hand on turn 1.
Yeah.
And you've got just everything. If you had 1 land and enough affinity artifacts, everything was on the board turn 1.
I think it one or 2 times I was able to actually get 10 cards out on turn 1 due to draw effects.
Yeah.
And everything being playable off.
Thoughtcast and bam, bam, bam.
And then Disciple of the Vault was just the best card in that whole.
You still had the best play on that with that dude.
I love that. You weren't there, were you? Because Disciple of the Vault says you may deal damage, not that it deals damage. So I was playing this guy, and we had went over that in our practice rounds, and the guy was sitting across from me, and he had the same. We were affinity against affinity at the time,
mirrored it.
And so I sacrificed an artifact, and I go, deals you 1 damage, and I just waited. And he didn't say anything, and I go, he doesn't know. And then I go, and then this one. And then this one, and I just, it was like 13, 14 damage, and he was at 10.
He sat there through this entire thing, like 2 minutes, with just the smug churning.
And then I attack, and he goes, you're dead. And I go, how am I dead? And he goes, this deals damage. And I go, it says it may deal damage, you have to declare it. And a guy next to him just leans over and goes, he's right, man. And this guy just goes and he just looks at me, and he just goes off on this whole barrage of swears. I'm an ass and all this other stuff. And then I was just sitting there giggling. He beat me the whole round.
Well, when you play even for like Friday Night Magic or in like a home draft we're going to do today, no one's writing down every card the other person has. When you're in a tournament like that, like you take the full amount of time to shuffle. You do everything like all the way. You reshuffle theirs afterwards.
Exactly.
Like you write down the card, the play, you call everything turn by turn pretty much to make sure that you can't mess with what I'm doing. I've got this down. And if you sit there silent for a minute, Friday Night Magic games that go the same way. It's like, oh crap. Like,
I did have to go upside Kyle's head last tournament. How you doing, Pookie? But
he looks like an angry chicken.
Looks like an angry chicken. Kyle has this tendency to sort of make up rules that don't actually exist. Sometimes there's a little desperation. Sometimes when you're looking for a win,
Chad doing a little crawfish, and once Kyle looked at him.
I respect the game. I respect
in the man's
the game.
house. This is his house.
In the man's house. But I had to start getting that tournament lingo going on, where it was like, I do this. Do you have any spells or abilities? Do you have any effects? Next, like, and just had to keep stepping through the whole sequence like that, just to not get caught up in like, oh, let's go back to like the second thing you did in the series of 15.
Yeah, I do all that in my head in a draft like this, mainly because all these cards are new. I mean, I've looked over them. I've done, some fake mock drafts and seen the cards. I've been browsing the cards for a week, but, still, I don't have them memorized. I haven't played 200-300 games with them yet to know every little nuance of them.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I have to do that in my mind. Okay, how am I going to do it? And then like what can be done where? Like you really
Yeah.
have to think about.
I was burning through mock drafts, and I still don't have an idea where I'm going to go.
What's throwing me off is when we were playing, I knew every card.
Yeah.
So if you said I'm going to play this, I'm like, okay, I know what that does.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do against it, or I know what it's going to do to affect me 3 turns from now.
Yeah.
And now I'm just going to be like, what does that mean? It's like new
Yeah.
abilities I haven't even seen
For that
10
8-month
years.
period of time, we knew what every card did based on the art.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So as soon as you saw it, like at the table, you're like, oh, okay, and you knew your reaction right away.
Well, that's the way it got with the decks I was playing with you guys. You know, it started at Mirrodin, and then the next block I played a little bit, and then I didn't do anything, and I came back at Scars of Mirrodin, and that first 6 to 8 months of playing in that new block was a pain.
Yeah.
Because let me see the card, let me
Yep.
understand it, okay,
exactly.
and then adding that to the variety of things that can happen to you make it difficult. That's why I try to stay in smaller sets, because I have a short attention span and poor memory. So if I'm trying to play, modern or something that includes 35,000 different cards, no, I don't like surprises.
Yeah, 35,000 cards
I'm
and
not that
like
invested,
all the main cards have had like 10 reprints.
Yeah.
So you're not. And then people who show up with like foreign language cards.
Oh
Yeah.
in the artwork's just always just a
The
little.
artwork's just it looks a little
it's-
sharper,
it's
looks a little
like-
bit better.
It's like Target artwork where you're just like you're trying to be better than everybody, but you're still the same.
Yeah. Well, that and
Hopefully, Target's not a sponsor. Sorry, Target.
but yeah, that makes it difficult too, because especially when you don't know the card very well, you're like, I don't read Korean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, is that a number 13? Are you playing a number 13 right now from the faux place? You can't do that.
Nice.
So there's some rule changes. There's been some rule changes. The
Yeah.
mulligan rule is different now.
Yeah.
So they made it a lot easier. You can mulligan, and what was the whole thing? Like you can mulligan and scry.
Yes, if you mulligan, you can scry 1.
Yeah.
So you actually get to see what's coming up. So
Scries where you look at the first.
look
I
at the
remember
top
that.
card and you decide if it goes bottom or top.
By the way, you're on camera, so everyone saw you wave. So what's up?
Everyone can scry one.
Everyone. Okay, everyone can scry one.
Everyone scries one.
Oh.
If someone mulligans, everyone starting with the player that mulliganed and going in play order.
Okay, so your opponent gets the scry as well.
If you have to mulligan,
Ooh, okay, so that makes it interesting.
That's pretty cool.
That
I
makes it
that.
better.
Yeah, that's fun.
If you both mulligan, do you get to scry too? How does that work?
it's turn based, so you mulligan because the other person can't do anything until you finish your.
Oh yeah, so you would actually scry too, because when you mulligan,
Yep.
I would scry,
Yep.
and then when I would mulligan on my turn, both of us would scry again.
So it
Which would suck if you want to keep your card.
Exactly. Well, no, because you get to choose. Where
No,
to
because
put
you
it, right?
choose. You choose.
Yeah,
to
but
put
if
it.
on the first one you look and you like it, and you put it on top,
Well,
and
you
then
get to-
it's your mulligan, and you get to scry again.
But you can put it right back on top again, right?
yeah, but you just kind of lose the card advantage because
Okay, yeah, I got lost in the verbiage of scry too.
There's
Yeah.
the stack built in my head, and I got real scared.
Damage is not stackable anymore.
Yeah.
Damage doesn't go on a stack.
I would have won the damn tournament then. That's the whole reason I lost. This dude across from me was playing some weird online way, and he's like, if you were playing online, you'd know how this works. And I was like, what? He goes, so I'd attack him, and he goes, now before damage is dealt. And he put all this some verbiage, I don't remember it because I was so aggravated. And he goes, all this damage is going to accumulate and hit you, and you can't do anything about it. And I was just like, it sounds wrong. And then a judge came over, and the judges are just like, I'm angry to be here because I'm not playing. You're right, I don't care. And so
Yeah.
it was yeah. But damage does not go on the stack, or is not stackable.
Yeah, damage is like I can't remember the exact the wording for it, but it's a static effect. Like it happens regardless of what's on the stack, what enters the stack, what goes off the stack, because damage is not part of the stack.
So does damage just get first billing, or does damage happen first or after everything else?
You can put spells and abilities on the stack, but the damage is going to be there. So you can still declare before damage is dealt or whatever happens there, because
Yeah.
you still have that pause, that interrupt. Remember there were cards that were called interrupts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It kind of works the same way with any ability or instant. So you can put that on the stack before you handle damage, because damage has its own phase.
Yeah.
Like battle damage has its own phase, creature combat, like all those, if a creature fights another creature, all that stuff has its own thing.
yeah.
So you can sort that out You can sort out the stack. That has to be cleared before you do anything with damage.
Yeah.
So you
that
can't.
way you have your opportunity to stop any damage from affecting
Yeah,
you.
you
or
can't
your
layer.
creature.
You can't layer damage. You can't weave that into whatever stack you're building of spells.
And it can't be two damage, then this, then 3 damage,
Yeah.
then this.
Yeah.
It's-
Because those spells have
it's
to get out of the
all
way.
This happens, and then when everything's resolved, damage hits.
So you can't. There's no. And the way it worked out is that you can't thread spells. Like there's no damage happens all at once.
Yeah.
So it's dealt between both players at once, but all it happens at once. It's resolved at one time. So you can't weave stuff in between. Like, well, your creature deals him damage, and I'm going to lay this in there before he deals damage. No, you can't do
Well,
that.
because now it's your declare attackers, declare blockers. That's going to line everything up.
So-
and then
But creature abilities like First Strike, those are still on the stack,
That
which
makes
makes
sense.
things really weird.
But it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah, so you have like first order damage, second order damage. Like there's this all.
if you played online, like you mentioned, it's much more clear.
The stack
duels of the
is
planeswalker,
right there, right?
The duels of the planeswalker separates everything out, and you can actually put a setting in there, kind of like we have for virtual play table.
Yeah.
where like every phase, every step, you have to press OK to go to the next one.
Oh, I
so
gotcha.
that way, I turned it off after a while,
But that's
I
pretty
left it
cool.
on there for probably a good month.
That's awesome.
Just so that I knew this exact time I can take an action.
Yep.
And it really helped out a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And playing online, MTGO is basically the same way. But you're playing an opponent versus usually playing an NPC, and they're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm playing Duels of the Planeswalker, it lights my card up for me and lets me know I can click that card right now. So for like people that are just coming in and playing, I definitely recommend it. And since we don't play as often, as soon as it comes out with a set like this, I usually load it up just to kind of see how the mechanics work. That's really where I noticed the way blocking worked. And if I attack you and you or one of my creatures attacks you and you block with a creature and then you bounce that creature back to your hand, since your creature blocked mine, that damage has already been blocked. So before that, like seeing the way that interacted, like seeing it visually actually helped out significantly. And the set that we were playing back then was Avacyn, and there were a few different combinations where you could really take advantage of that by popping things back in with angels, putting them back in your hand. So you're basically just having something to block with that never dies. It never takes the damage of the block. So it helped when I started loading them into the online programs. Duels of the Planeswalker, you can put it on your tablet too. So
Yeah,
when
it's free now, isn't it? I thought I saw it was free.
it's free, but you can open up things with money like all the games are now.
Oh yeah.
So, but I mean, it's on consoles, computer, and they've added a lot of multiplayer to it. Last year's, you couldn't build your own deck. Basically, as you progress through a storyline, they gave you more cards for that deck, and you could choose which 60 or however many you wanted to actually roll with. So you got rares that you could replace your commons and uncommons with, but you couldn't say, I want to splash red in here, something like that. Whereas the latest version lets you go all out, and you can do full deck building in it. So it's kind of nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think we probably need to go ahead and wrap this up now. We're going to come back with a part 2 in like 10 to 12 hours, maybe. And
God.
Did you know the way the planeswalkers work in this one? Did you look at that?
No, I didn't.
They're dual-sided planeswalkers, so surprise.
Yeah, you can turn them over and
Based on the ability on the card, yeah. You didn't play the werewolf. decks.
you haven't played anything since.
I got a deck to
literally
show you.
that day I put my cards up, and 4 days, I mean 4 weeks.
hung up the belt,
I hung up, I was like, I can't compete with these kids,
left a champion. If we're calling 415th place champion,
right?
Yeah.
we still place damn high in that tournament for all the crap that we went through. We actually went pretty far.
Nope. I remember that tournament we went to your house, and that's where I got the big giant dork button.
Yeah, and ward on the back of his shirt the entire. I thought you got it from Nydia.
I don't know. I remember we had to go back his apartment and pick up.
We
the
did
dork
have to go back and pick it up from your place before we
from
left.
the big dork button, and then I
big dork button.
wore it on a shirt that I got from the flea market that was like an old gas station.
You wore it on the
shirt.
back of your shirt,
Yep.
which made, when you stood up, when you had that whole exchange with that one player that didn't declare his damage,
Yep.
when you stood up and turned around, the entire table was like, oh! the dork button. Like nerds who have never heard an effective insult get like, oh, like that's the world star. When someone turns around with a dork button.
It was great.
So yeah, we'll come back in like 12 hours. You'll probably know better of like what your cards actually are, and I don't know. We'll see. 16 players.
Yeah.
Well, people are dropping out left and right because I think we're down to like officially 15 now.
Yeah, that's left and right.
Yeah, and
That's
I
really
keep
how they left. Right
like
hasn't dropped.
We've
well,
lost Brandon
I
and
haven't
Charlie
looked.
so far.
Yeah, Brandon and Charlie are out. I haven't looked at. I keep like getting notifications on the Facebook like event, and I got one from Sterling that I thought I read incorrectly. It was someone else, and like they drank too much. I'm asleep instead, and I thought it was Sterling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like
Who
that's
was
like
it?
that was Sarah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think she confirmed.
No, didn't confirm.
So, yeah.
That's why I got the messages mixed up and like, oh, that's like another player out. We're gonna be down. Like after setting up all those tables, doing all that work.
Oh, we're still gonna need them. We're
All that work.
Yeah.
You have a dining room table now, by the way. Did you see? Okay, yeah. It takes a village.
Right.
That dude went to sleep, woke up with a table. That's a great day.
It's never a bad day. Woke up with tables and chairs. All right, so we'll wrap this up, and we'll be back
In a while.
maybe sometime.
I'll be victorious.
No music. I'm just going to cut.
You gonna go?
Cut it.
Slider.
That sounds different.
Just to have transition music.
I like it. That's not bad.
It didn't talk to me,
It didn't talk to you. It's the same music.
but now I'm confused.
It's just an extension, right?
Be confused. Allow yourself to be confused.
There's going to be a cut.
Live in the moment. Yeah, there's going to be a cutscene where we fade to black, and now we're actually back.
Fade to back.
5
Fade
days
to back
later.
5 days later.
What day is it?
No,
Yeah,
one
we
knows.
lied. Turns out we should have known because every time we say we're going to do something after the draft or the tournament, it's too late and we're too tired.
Well, I mean, we had 15 people, and we played 6 rounds, and we like to.
Sleep or do
Yeah.
What time did y'all get done? I left early, unfortunately, even though I had a pretty good record.
I say that. I went to Hop Scholar and played Cards Against Humanity until like 2 a.m.
Yeah. See, I came for the free barbecue, and then I went home.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Like that haze of sleeping. Like you were there and you were there. God, man.
What time was it over with?
I want to say close to 9:30, 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it actually ended up going pretty late, and we just hung around here for way too long to decide what we were going to do on food.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was 6 rounds, an hour per round.
Yep.
You probably had 20 minutes between rounds, so you add that up, that's another hour and a half, plus, other downtime.
Good looking out on coasters.
No, I'm just every time you put it down, you're real sensitive because it hits the springs,
It makes-
and
yeah.
I'm just like,
That noise?
Yeah,
yes,
makes sense.
Like, hit you.
If you're gonna point it out, we're gonna do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Trust, you have no idea how bad I want to go off like Shoebox Joe right now and just serenade you with a spring jiggy.
We've done it.
Oh.
Had you shown up sooner, you could have been involved.
Well, see, if I do it now I'm just like, it's been done, man.
Yeah, there's I'll cut together a best of because there's a good 40 minutes where we just made music,
Yeah, it was bad.
talking about nothing. What was your final? What did you end up doing in the tournament?
I actually have the tournament here.
I went 3-3 and was disappointed because I started out really strong.
I ended up with 10 points, so that's 3 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. 1 loss to Peter, who won it all. Got him down to 2 in 1 game, and then
He didn't lose a single game.
no, I mean me and Kyle both got him down to 2. I had thrown every 7 cast card I had at him. I had spawned 8 2/2 guys with vigilance on them, and we were both sitting there playing, top decking for like 2 or 3 turns, and I top decked 3 lands, and he top decked a 6/6 flyer. And he had a card out that for every time like a creature went to the graveyard, he lost a life. So I was down to 2, and I wiped my board presence getting him down, and I'm like, I'll draw into something. If I attack, it's greater than 2, he's going to block and take the kill. Otherwise, he may let it go through or something. And the girls never came.
I was shocked to see how many people went green-white given the number of white cards that came my way.
Yeah, I actually wanted to go heavy green and then light blue.
Yeah.
But the very first 2 cards I saw, I had to take. I mean, the very first 2 rares that came up, and it was that 7 cast card, white card. See if I can look at it here. I don't remember the name of it. That's how bad it was. It was not the Yoked Ox. Gideon's Phalanx. So that one basically was 7 mana, and I got to bring out 4 2/2 night creatures with vigilance onto the battlefield.
Yeah, I think I passed that one because the pack that was in was really strong.
And now that I think about it, I may have made a huge mistake with that card because it has Spell Mastery. So creatures I control have indestructible until end of turn if I have Spell Mastery and it comes out. I don't know if I know one time we pointed it out and I just didn't have anything to attack with. I was just putting them out there. And I really played them more offensively than defensively. I think if I would have waited for him to attack and then announce blockers, it would have been a little better for me. I would have got him that one game with that. I made 2 crucial mistakes in that one, but we were on turn like 13. So I mean, we had seen 22 cards in our deck or something at that point, and I had the mana advantage where I could draw and put a land on the board tapped and one in my hand. So I started doing that in most of my games because my mana was heavy. I started like 2020, so I did that. I had 2 mana elves and I had 2 search forests to pull. So every time I sideboarded, I pulled out 2 lands until I was down to 16. So I was really, really annoyed when I have 12 of those 16 out of my first 20 cards with Peter.
Yeah.
So and even with that, I got him down to 2. The other cards actually did well. I mean, it's hard to deal with 4 2/2s 2 turns back to back.
Yeah,
because he had every little answer. He could get rid of 2s and 3s just kind of like that. But when you're hit with 4 of them and then hit with 4 of them again, it just gave us a full stall. So it was basically an overpower with a white weenie deck.
Yeah,
and then he got the draw and just he took down 29 points in a row to not let me have my victory.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, you were upset.
Well, the second game I was upset because I didn't draw in anything, like at all. So before I even had a chance, I think on turn like 7 I was done.
Yeah.
So it was like the game before that with Jason that I had lost. I think of 18 cards at one point, 14 of them I saw were lands, and at that point I only had 18 lands in my deck. So it was just crazy. Then the next one I ended up with 2 lands, and luckily 6 to 8 of my cards were 1 or 2, so I was able to do well there. But then Kyle, he swapped the color completely right before playing. So he changes the color and then has to read every card to know what it does because it was the first time he was playing it that way. And it turned into being so long. Like we had 10 minutes left when we started the 3rd game.
Yep.
So it was like crap. and the next game he got it significantly faster and picked it up. But it was just like, man, I had to be the one that if we timed out, it was actually kind of funny because when we had like 4 minutes left, I was ahead. And my rule, what I've always known, was that you have 5 turns after the timer goes off. Whoever has the highest life total wins.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Apparently, that's not the rule. It's a draw. If neither one of you 2 win, draw.
And where
that's true.
Who presented this rule?
Cody did. That's the way he's been going to drafts a lot more than any of us over the past.
Yeah, I mean, friendly games. That's how we always played them.
Yeah, but
friendly
we're
games
playing as a draft. I mean,
yeah, but
had some structure,
that was,
I guess.
The one competitive person who plays said something and. Everyone was like, "That is actually the way it goes." So
yeah, well, that's how I remember it.
Yeah,
that's how I remember when we played actual tournaments. If there was no finish, there was no finish.
Well, it benefited me because I was turn 1, 3, and 5, and on turn 3, he was able to take me below his life total.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at the very end, I was like, "So,"
but it was a game draw. It wasn't a round draw.
Yeah, and the game
unless like if you were sitting at like 1-0 in the round and you didn't finish the second game, then the 1-0 got it.
But since we were already tied 1-1, it was game
if you're 1-1.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, well, there should be a winner, right?
Yeah, in the scoring, it gave us 1 point each.
Exactly.
Which you got 3 points for a win, 0 for a loss, and 1 for a tie or a draw. So that's how I ended up with a weird number compared to everyone else. There was, Peter who just didn't lose anything. He got 18 points. He went 6-0. And then I think the next group was like 3 people that each lost 1. or 2 games. I think they lost 2 games, and the reason that me and Kyle were in the group right below was because of that draw. It kept us 2 points out of that group.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of us would have been in the group, one wouldn't have. But overall, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people. I always expect 3 to 5 to just not reply to a text message or a Facebook message about it, just not show up. But it was nice to get everyone out. People want to do it more.
It was different for me. I haven't played in 10 years, so that was the first time I'd touched cards in forever, and I just went back to what I did before. Just kept it simple.
You got so deep in what I remember you doing that pre-tournament jitter.
Yep.
Right before we started playing, it's like you want to play a test game real quick?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta learn I gotta learn the mechanics. I gotta learn when I see this, how I can play it. And
you were gonna play Jasmine.
Oh yeah.
Walks up to me and I just played her and he was like,
Cliff Notes.
What do you think? What's she playing?
Yeah.
What's she playing? What do you think?
Is
it heavy enchantment? So I got to worry about that. Like what?
Yeah. No.
He's just like.
And that's actually what the enchantments were got me with Jason, because Jason had a pretty good stack.
He did.
And
I played
last time he won, it was when the Dragons of Takir.
Mm-hmm.
He went like full dragon. So like he didn't do anything to you for 6 turns. He's just like turn, land, land, go. Seriously, straight up.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh crap. It was a 7/7 with indestructible and like fire breathing. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he would camp and then just wreck shop out of nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't pull my first rare until like the 7th pass. Everything else was a common or an uncommon.
I saw my first pack was extremely weak, and my rare was the Hangerback Walker. So like easy.
Yeah.
I get tokens out of that. Sure,
Yeah.
like that's a great mid game card. Let me pull that.
I don't know what the name of the card that I got that allowed me to put a +1/+1 counter every time a spell was played. It was 3 costs and it was a 1/1. But
Nice.
anytime anybody did anything, it became +1/+1.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a beautiful card. I used it.
I only had 3 cards. Well, not counting the double X from Hangerback, but I only had 3 cards that cost more than 3 mana.
Nice.
Everything was way low.
Yeah, I played yours. I loaded mine, yours, and Peter's because those are the 3 that I had in the play table. I have a significant advantage on you because of the tokens that I have. Mm-hmm. Every game I played, both of those came out. So everyone I dealt with had to play with 8 vigilance tokens. Now, if one of those 2 would have been a 6/6 or like a big dude, I think I would have fared considerably better because it's easier to get rid of 4/2/2s than 1/6/6 in most cases, especially in the small format. But I played 10 times or 12 times with Peter's deck, and even me playing both sides, he beat me 65% of the time. And then I played with yours, and I got you about 60% of the time.
I tried really hard to understand Peter's deck.
It's actually very straightforward.
It's very straightforward, but I don't know if it's the way that I looked at it, because I couldn't get it to do the same thing that he made it do.
He's a significantly more active player, so he's up to date on the play style. Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, even a lot of people down there. Wait, there's 2 main phases now.
Yeah, I had I was like, what? What can you do in the second main phase? And I still don't know what you can.
Well, if you think about it, we always played that way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess we never really called it.
Yeah,
well, the way we played, though, we had the opportunity to do everything before our attack phase, because most of what our instants would do. Yep. Because originally you couldn't do sorceries there. I thought it was just instants. And we actually paused it out like it was a main phase because we had so many instant heavy decks.
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't think they made that change till after we played with the Mirrodin block. So it was kind of weird when I first started. Everyone's like, there's this new phase, so I'm waiting for like a third. Yeah. When I first started, luckily I played Duels of the Planeswalker, and it ironed it out for me.
I forgot all about the etiquette, right? Doing this, telling them I'm doing this. Your turn. I'd just be like, okay.
Yeah,
and then I was like, completely
and that's what bugs me.
About that.
I had to. I had a moment with Jason where I told him like, I can't read your mind. I don't know what this means. Yeah, and I had to stop him because I was like, you can't just barrel through
without me understanding.
Yeah, and like, oh well, damage, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, we're gonna have to back up because
explain the stack.
Yeah, like here's this spell, here's where I would play that, and you can't. You have to give your opponent an opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what I learned. That's when we talked about it. The other one, that's what Duels of the Planeswalker taught me.
Yeah,
it's like And I just watched that instant card light up. And when there was fire around it or like an orange box around it, I knew it was playable. So I just watched that. And then when you play the matches against things, they do things in certain orders. And that's when I learned about the blocking too, you know? So like
I learned about the stack by getting just massively got by like an 11-year-old. And it was at that, I can't remember the name of that card shop. We went there several times. It was the one
on Westheimer?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
We went there a lot of times, but like this kid just wrecked me in the first round. And I was like, I turned to his dad and I'm like, you're going to have to, I'm done. Like I forfeited the entire round. And I was like, because we have 40 minutes for your kid to explain to me what just happened. And we got a sheet of paper and he drew out like this timeline because he went through, you know, it's a standard Friday Night Magic 60 card deck. He went through on like turn 3 or 4 half his deck. And everything got played. I wished I could remember what happened. But I left with like 2 sheets of notebook paper.
nice.
Like we got a legal pad from the
And it
guy.
was worth it, huh?
It was worth it because I was like, dude, I still don't understand what just happened. Because I'm like, red deck wins, son. Like, face all the time, face.
Yeah, the time I learned about the stack, and I told us story on the last on
The first half?
the first half. It was when
We're double dipping.
yeah, it was when that,
Which for us was many days ago. For everyone else, that was like 10 minutes ago.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that this is only like the third time I've seen him since probably 5 years.
Easy. Oh, could be.
I showed up at the dinner.
The dinner wasn't actually my dinner. It was for
Brandon, you were
Brandon's-
there.
Yeah. And there it was. Yeah, it was us, and then that was.
I was a table of like 20 people.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount. And all I remember is the Rockets game was on, so
Yeah.
you were gone.
Yeah,
you weren't in the. I was just like, well, Neil must hate me now, so he's just not there. He's not even talking. So yeah, and after that was it was years ago.
Yeah.
It was actually years.
So it all the stories come back.
Yeah.
You know,
Love this.
we don't see this kid in so long.
And then it was funny, Julianne. I'm dropping my name of my wife on here, but hopefully no one goes to my house and knows her.
Like
What's your
15
address?
people are going to know your wife's
and
first
they already know. Anyway, so she was watching it, and she was like, "They're telling stories about you that I ain't ever heard before." And I was like, "There's a reason you haven't heard those stories before."
Which the Black Friday story?
No, she was with me on the Black. She was with us on Black Friday,
yeah, like,
and you kind of got it. You were right. You were in the ballpark of how it went. But it's not worth going over and rehashing because it's funnier the way you told it. The actual story wasn't that entertaining at all. I was just like, well, that's not a flat screen. Let's go. And so
no, you waited the guy out and he left.
I waited the employee out because the employee put the TV back. It wasn't an actual customer. It was an employee who put the TV back. And
when you first arrived there was a customer that had claimed that TV.
Nope, there wasn't.
And there was a blue shirt coming with a card.
I can call the guy who works there and who was there at that day who went in the back and found it because he knew the employee who put it back himself.
That was a different time because I was with you
No,
at
that was
time
Black
too.
Friday. That was Black Friday because it wasn't a flat screen.
Because we went out and looked at its 240. We didn't do that Black Friday.
It was a tube. He always does this. He has these stories in his head that don't really actually work. And he really wants to argue, and I can prove them. I just don't have time for it. I ain't got that much energy. I got shit to do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're almost at your bedtime. So.
dude, it's almost 9 o'clock. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock.
It's 9:15. Yeah.
And you ain't got to watch That Works.
I gotta watch Shit Works. What are you talking about? Let us watch. Shit works off light.
It's almost 10:57.
I don't even. The big one's on a late number. It's a
Right.
real late number.
It's 27:72.
Well, we both went green white.
Yeah.
I haven't seen what you did. I didn't look at the pictures. What,
Just green.
Straight green.
Just green.
Mono
I pulled out some red because I was like, I'm going to put some splash of red. But I was just like, if I have 2 red cards, I'm going to have like 16, probably 7 or 8 mountains in there. And I'm probably never going to get it. So let's just stick with green and just keep it simple. Because I was able to pull out some good taps, get green. It was a 1-2 cost little elf.
Yeah, the basic Llanowar elf, but just 2/1 instead of 1/1.
Yeah.
So I had 2 of those. Those
Yep.
were nice.
And so another, I don't remember any of the names of the
The
cards.
leaf glider.
Yeah, the ones that destroyed. Yeah, the one that came out and destroyed enchantments, but it was 4 mana cost, so that was a little expensive. And I had 2 big beasts. One of the only other rares I got was a 6/6 with what's that new ability where if you attack it gets
Renown.
Renowned, yeah. It had renown 6 on it.
Oh, nice.
So
wow.
Yeah, it worked once against Jasmine, and I felt real bad.
Swing for 12.
Yeah, exactly. And I go, now it's a 12-12. Boom. And so so that was the only other rare I had. Everything else was, come out, kill an enchantment, or just get little and I had a couple of nice little walls that block flying and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of an answer for everything. But
So a lot of the stuff I was looking for was in both of y'all's decks.
oh, nice.
I ended up wanting to go green blue, like I said, but I got that one that spawned all those guys, and then the next pack when it was passed to me, that was the rare in there. So I got two of those, the first two packs. So I was like, awesome. I have to splash white.
Yep.
So I was picking white cards, then I started going to green because those leaf gliders came across.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to go green, these guys are great just to have. But I was looking for the visionaries, the ones that you pulled.
Yeah.
I wanted those, but leaf gliders were
What
good.
do the visionaries do?
So the visionary, it's 2 mana. You drop it, and you get to draw a card, and it's just an elf.
Oh, okay, so
It's a
it was
1/1 elf.
pretty much the opposite of the kind of the variant of the tapping and a green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It gives me chump blockers, and I get card advantage.
Card advantage,
So
yeah.
I was looking for those the entire draft.
Yep.
I didn't see a single one come
I
across
saw
mine.
3 of them and I just passed them. I didn't want to draw. I wanted mana because I knew I was going to have. I already had at that time.
Yeah.
A couple of big cast cost creatures. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I figured if anything, it'd buy me time.
Yeah, you
So
got
I
a
was
little-
like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'll declare a blocker, your Titanic Growth, whatever it would happen, it would just bounce off and it wouldn't come through. That's what I was hoping for, and that strategy, the massive go wide strategy. By the time I got to turn 6 or 7, and I was able to Celestial Flare, and I was able to hold off the initial barrage for a lot of aggro decks, and then all of a sudden, in one turn, I went from 2 creatures to 8. With the visionaries, there was one game where it was drop a visionary, draw another visionary, drop another visionary, draw another card,
nice.
drop my land, and then I had just a bunch of one. I had 2 one cost creatures, 3 or 4 2 costs, and it's bam bam bam, all this stuff hit at once, and all of a sudden my go wide strategy is I went wide. it got very broad.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was for me. Once again, not doing this for 10 years. I just wanted to keep it super simple.
Yeah.
And even then, against Peter, that game against Peter, I thought I had an actual instant or a sorcery, I'm sorry, that gave all of my creatures +1/+1 for each artifact, or it was something of that nature. I'm messing it up.
Thought you had a cranial plating.
It would have, yeah, exactly. It would have been an awesome card, and it would have completely destroyed what he was going to do. But it was a creature, and so I was like, I'm an idiot, and it was just one of those things where I just didn't read and wasn't paying attention. So
Yeah, I based my entire strategy on one card that I didn't read. I got a rare, and I was like, "This is awesome. How come no? I think it was uncommon." And just in my head, I was like, "How come no one else has talked about this card? This card
You
will
said
destroy."
that 8 times.
Yeah,
How did this card get to me this late?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, you
I'm
did.
trying to count, and I'm like, which way are we going? Was that?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did I miss?
there were cards. There were cards that would get to me in the last. I think in that second round, the last the bottom 8 cards in the pack. Everything I got past me, I was like, there's still heavy green, there's still heavy white.
Yeah, I noticed
There's a
that,
celestial.
too.
I got a celestial flare with 3 cards to go.
My second to the last card was a Celestial Flare.
Yeah, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
How?
I was trying to go a little more creature heavy, but I ended up with 2 of the elves, 2 yoked ox, so 0/4 blockers.
Yep. It's a good card. What is it?
Yeah,
a
Peter
2
hated
cost?
that one because he was a pinger, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
and he's like, dude, those oxes. That's what saved me that one round, and I built up because I had the healing hands, and those came out like crazy. I had 2 of them, and of most of my games, both of them came out. So I basically was running 28 life,
Yep.
and it didn't help. I mean, I was up to 29, so I gained life another way too, and they still.
I outlasted Trevor. I didn't do any damage. One of our games, I didn't do any damage, and I think he got me down to 5.
Nice.
Or I think he may have gone up to 26 or something like that, and then I came back in that game.
Yeah, I think there was one game where Trevor didn't. No, Trevor did 2 damage to me, and I beat him because that's that rare I got for the +1/+1 for each spell that's cast, whatever the name of that. I got that in my last deck as the rare.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, well, that was just that just worked out right well. So so yeah, I got that, and then both times against Trevor it came out, and then Trevor tried to play a card where it was an enchantment, take control. Oh, it was an enchantment or an instant, I can't remember. but it was take control of target creature, and he's like, I'm going to take control of that. And then I read it goes, of power of 2 or less. And so he was like,
Snap.
well, shit. and so, and then I was like, and I get a +1/+1 from that. So
You played a spell. Ha.
yep.
Well, I put headphones in as soon as I drafted and went away from everyone, so I can do my
did you?
stuff.
Yeah, I know. Everybody has to go to a little secret room, a little secret spot, and go hide when they build their decks.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm just like I'm out in the open. I played test games against I'm probably going to see you later in the tournament. I was going to play a test game.
I need space to do the pyramid. Like I got to separate stuff. I've got a pile of I first go with a pile of maybes.
Yep.
So I've eliminated 2 cards at this point. And then from there I'm like, here's my pile of definitelys. Mm-hmm. And then I start playing, watching how much of each color, and it's a system, and it takes space.
All I did.
I build mine so fast.
Oh yeah. I was
like there's just as I'm going through the draft, I know immediately what colors are going to go in.
Yep.
By the time we get halfway through pack 2, I'm like, yeah, this is locked in.
Yep.
And
I was locked in on the first card pack too. So.
All I did was take all my cards, line them up, or put them in piles based on mana cost.
Yeah.
And everything that was 6 or over, I was just like, probably not. And just everything else.
yeah, same strategy. Everything. I saw the pile. I separate mine by spells and creatures, and then spell or creatures get divvied up by mana cost, and then everything that's over a certain threshold, like in the case of mine, everything that was over 4 was like, you're going to go way over here because you're probably not going to happen this game. Because
that's my strategy for the draft was it's not going to be a quick game. It's probably not going to be a quick game. It's not going to be 4 turns and I'm dead.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have time to get some mana out there, and I have a bunch of creatures who can pump up my mana as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I can get away with putting some of these, 6 to. I think the highest one I had was a 6 mana cost, and that's. I only had 2 of them in there. Everything else was 4 or less.
That's the way mine was. I had 2 7s, which were the 2 spawned, the tokens.
Yep.
4 4s, 7 3s, 7 2s, and 4 1s.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I really should have probably taken 1 or 2 of each of the 2 or 3s and put them into something that was about 5 to be able to go past early late game.
Yep.
I can keep throwing stuff out there and doubling and putting, I've got 8 tokens, so I can put 3 of those to take your first 6/6 out, but
Yeah.
then
and I had some Thopter tokens at some point in the game too. You would have laughed because at some point I had to pull out dice to use this to pass over to Peter so he could use them as tokens, and they were purple and gold. And he just started this rant about Lakers on defense, Lakers on offense. I mean, it was uncanny how similar the colors were. It was perfect.
nice.
I was talking to everybody about how I forgot you can't play this game and not sound like an inconsiderate ass.
Yeah.
And I did not realize that was still part of it. And the moment when I played the first game against Chad, and Chad goes, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, I was just like, you asshole.
Yeah.
And there's no way around it.
There's a level of magic condescension that
exactly
you're
right.
you're trying to be
'Cause you
polite,
have
but
to
you really
communicate.
don't care.
Yeah, you have to communicate and you have to speak, but in the whole dialogue that you're having, it sounds like you're just a pretentious ass.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Everyone was like that, but 2 people that I played.
Yeah, except for Jason, who doesn't speak.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
He's
Jasmine
Like,
wasn't.
slam.
Well, I didn't play Jasmine, but yeah,
Jasmine wasn't like that at all.
Katie's expecting it. She's almost moving her health total down before you hit her.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jonathan just wanted to know what happened. He had a pretty solid deck, but I got him on 2 games pretty quick. But it's like, man, that's let me read that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to seriously learn. And I know he picked up a few things that he wanted to play. Different things I had in there. So it was like, oh, that card's pretty. So it was really more. We're half and half on that. We got a lot of people that are very competitive.
Oh yeah.
And you still have
Oh yeah.
Trevor's doing a really good job of learning different things in deck building. I helped Sterling kind of piece his together when I was done. Just gave him, what mana conversions to use. Don't put 8 8s in there. Just color combinations with mana and stuff, and just kind of rein it in a little bit.
Yep.
And then Jasmine's deck was pretty good, and she's actually been doing a significant amount of deck building lately.
It was
probably her and Charlie are the only 2 that are still up to it that aren't playing, drafts all the time. But
Yeah.
When I played her, it was the fact that she had so many big creatures, she didn't have enough mana.
She
to
was
get them
top
out.
loaded.
Yeah, she was. I was happy I was able to ping her because I noticed that it was like turn 3 and nothing had came out. Oh, maybe like one thing had come out, and I was just like, everything's attacking now,
Right, like,
because I
yeah.
might not have a second chance to.
That's why I really like the leaf gliders, because when I didn't have to use that mana,
Yep.
I'm pinging for 2 with the mana guy.
Exactly.
And I did that like twice, and it's like, there's 8. Just my land on else just got you for 8.
Yeah.
I had a rare, and it was a 1 mana drop. I can't remember. It was like heroic something or other, or some 1/1 rare elf guy. But he had renown. Whenever he became renown, he became a 2/2 with vigilance, and he tapped for any color.
Yeah. I remember.
So we talked about
like
that. I told I told you that was my Birds of Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that card quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like the green-white combination. I think it played well.
Yeah, Corey, that was a mirror match. I mean, probably down to about 90% of our
Yep.
deck was identical to each other.
Me and Corey went 1 and 2. He won, and I only beat him 1 game. But the second game that we played, it was down to like 3 or 4 life. I had 3, and it was
My 3 losses. Peter beat me easily outright, no questions asked. We played 4 games.
Yeah.
We played 2. He immediately won. I was like, "We want to do some friendlies?" Because we got like 45 minutes left. So we played some friendlies, and just I tried, but I couldn't outlast. I mean, he had the perfect combination of spells and creatures that had great benefits to just keeping the board clear.
I just didn't have the closer on him. That's it.
Yeah.
I stood hand to hand with him throughout until my closer just didn't show
It got to the point where like I hit my go wide at least in 2 games that we played, and I had a great board presence. I was keeping him at bay for a little bit, and then he would have like a couple of creatures hit, a couple spells hit, and then my board is wiped and I'm top decking, and then he has the time to put down his creatures very slowly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had more than enough time.
I called it nonchalant.
Yeah,
Because that's what it was. He nonchalantly beat you in 5 turns.
Yep.
yeah.
It was a tough pill to swallow, especially when he was just and I can never play a deck where I'm losing life. It just doesn't compute in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't keep up like that. And the fact that he can play it and win with it was like, good for you, man. Because I was just trying to kill shit to make him take damage because I couldn't get any other damage over there.
Yeah. What bugged me so much is that
that card I thought was going to hurt him, and
it doesn't.
Not as much.
It doesn't. And I was like, why aren't you dead? How is stuff isn't dying?
You would have really liked a deck I put together not so long ago. My which one was it? Basically, every card in it came back to life, and I would pull everything from the graveyard. I could get myself down to 1 life and just last forever. It was.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was ridiculous. I loved it so much. I meant to bring it so you could see it, but it's in my drawer at home. I've been reorganizing all my Magic cards.
yeah.
Speaking of that was the one thing I didn't get off of this draft. I didn't get the urge to go out and buy a box again.
That's good.
I did get the urge to, if y'all have another one, and if I ain't got nothing else going on, there ain't something cool on TV, I'm gonna come back and hang out.
So number 1, you got something to do.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Yeah.
something cool on TV.
I was actually going to start shopping around in the group to see if anybody wanted to buy me out
Really?
of my entire collection again.
Oh,
Because
really?
it's like I'm getting to the point now where it's like I'm never going to play with these again. They're no
Yeah.
good. I'll do limited, but like I have no desire to do standard.
There are so many other formats, though, that I think we could get into and have fun with. I mean, there are
Cube
tons of
sounds
people
awesome.
playing Cube or Pauper.
What's Cube?
You basically define a set of cards that
Mirrodin?
Well, you're not set. Like you actually make
you-
a list of the cards.
Down to the list of these are the specific cards we're going to play with. and
Here's a
then-
list of 200 cards. Build your deck.
Oh,
And
interesting.
that cube can be all commons.
Yeah,
That cube
yeah,
can-
yeah.
You know, so you have a lot of like flexibility there.
I gotcha.
So you can almost kind of like run themes through it. And I know Peter's got one set up, and I think Corey's playing in it. He tried to get Mark to play, and he raped Mark. So, like, you know, it's always that guy who made the cube. He made that cube because he has those cards.
exactly. Yeah.
But I thought that, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have, well, we discussed it briefly, you know, I buy the common, uncommon sets for everything. That's usually 250 cards times 4. You're at 1,000 cards. you could easily play a 4 to 6 person tournament just with the common uncommons in a set.
Yeah.
Just shuffle them up and go. Like do a way to randomly fill your packs or something. But it would be kind of cool because we've got a lot of cards. We could build those. We can go popper. So there's a lot of cheap ways.
I've been wanting to do Ice Age draft for so long, and I want to do it before it's too expensive.
Ice Age draft?
It's Ice. Yeah, I mean like
I know the Ice Age block.
Yeah, like the current like modern whatever
Orcish
that
Lumberjacks. I remember
the whatever that set is, the one that just came out for
Modern Masters.
Yeah, Modern Masters. Like per pack, it's about the same. If you eBay wisely, you can get a box of Ice Age for about the same price as a Modern Masters.
Modern Masters
just came
packs
out.
sell for $9.99 each, not $3.99. But like last,
like $1,000.
no, like per individual pack is $10.
Okay.
So
Jeez.
you're looking at a very expensive box. I mean,
Exactly.
really, you usually get boxes for under $300 or around $300. But like last one, the Ravager came back as well as like this one's what Terramorg? I don't know how to say it.
Termagoyf?
Yeah, Termagoyf.
Something like that.
But yeah, there's like usually each one is bringing back like a beast. Like Ravager was the thing in Mirrodin. This other one that came out,
Which we need to actually discuss about how I
almost got the gold border ones the other day just to
Oh,
like,
did
put them
you?
back in there, but
And-
someone got them off eBay before I did.
Oh my God! You haven't. So it was. We haven't seen each other in years,
It's been a while.
and so I was actually, and I sold those damn things 10 years ago exactly. I sold them in 2005 or 2004. So it's 11 years. I sold them, and then Chad texted me. It was like, "Hey, those things came back." I was like, damn it. I was like, he's going to want them. And I went on eBay and I looked. I was like, I did not get that much for them.
I know, right?
Damn it.
They're back up to like $40 a piece.
And I'm like, shit. And it's so like, it's every time I see you, I expect to like, and I want to bring it up and be like, I'm real sorry. I sold your cards.
You do it when we're on the microphone.
Yes, so you
knowing
can.
that, like,
It's like playground rules after school. Like, I'm in line side of teachers. We got an audience.
Yep.
He can't kill me right
Yeah,
now.
you can't. We're on the
it's funny 'cause
GoPro.
You grabbed those, and I thought a couple
The
Glimmer Voids or something
Yep.
like that.
I had three of your Glimmer Voids and 4 Ravengers.
Which the Glimmer Voids are like 12 a piece now.
I know.
And those, I'm like, dude, how?
Fucking
'Cause I'm
killing
like,
me.
Dude, I'll throw $100 to finish this deck back out.
Yep.
And I look it up and I'm like, I need $300 to finish this
And
deck out.
and I didn't even get $300 for all the damn cards.
They all got
Did you
banned.
did you have at some point? Did you have the gold backed Black Lotus that came out in like some goofy collector's
No,
edition?
I would not have a Black Lotus because I'd be.
No, because it was like a Walmart set.
Interesting. I actually think I remember the Walmart set. To be
Yeah, the
honest.
Walmart sets were different. They had like a different back or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, like looking that up, the
they were still
collectors,
playable.
the
Were
non-tournament.
they?
I think so.
I thought that they had that strange back. You couldn't. That's
You
what it
can't.
was.
You can't.
Yeah, you
The-
can't
One
play
of them
them.
had like a gold border back.
Okay, the gold borders. Okay.
Yeah. Still, that gold bordered collector's edition crap card is like $450.
For a Black Lotus that you can't even do
That
anything
you can't
with?
play. Yeah.
Well, it probably comes in a frame,
Yeah, so I want to. I need
that's
to go look up to see what my giant size Chaos Orb is worth.
right?
Yeah,
I still
'cause
have
you,
that.
You have one like this money. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I was going through my binder and I was like, oh, memories. Like, not even cards. It's my binder of all my sports stuff. So
Okay.
the Sports Illustrated from the first 2 Rockets championships,
Yeah.
all the newspapers. I get to this, I turn this one page, and like, here's an old, original, like, authentic photo of Mickey Mantle. Chaos Orb.
Yep. Is that the one that you throw in? No, what was
You
that?
throw in the air, and whatever
Whatever
cards it lands on, remove from the game.
Yeah, remove from the game.
Nice.
I remember, what was that? The Jigsaw?
Jester's Mask.
No. The one that was just a bunch of like random cards, like Chaos Confetti. It was just fun cards.
Oh, the fake set.
Was it? It was a real set, I thought.
No, it was like a spoof set.
Yeah, exactly. A spoof set.
Yeah.
And the Chaos Confetti was you rip the card up
and
you
throw it in the air.
and whatever the pieces land on, you remove from the
nice.
game.
Yeah.
It was like a block of cards. I can't remember. Look and see if that was an actual block. I think it. I think
No,
it was like a legitimate.
wasn't. It
card.
wasn't. It wasn't.
It was called like Joker or
I didn't play those.
what was it called? I cannot remember, but it's they had all sorts of weird
Unhinged.
Unhinged. That's what it was.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
wasn't tournament legal.
Yeah,
I've
but it was a
I've
real.
I've heard Unhinged, so
But
it was a release, a full
yeah,
set.
it was
I
a
thought.
it was a real release. I mean, I don't think they had. They might have unhinged tournaments, but they had oddball cards like you get up from the table and run around.
I wonder if that's where where Steve Jackson does some of their
It
cards
probably
for Munchkin.
inspired a lot of the other games that are in play.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
Munchkins and stuff like that.
Because you know they have bookmarks with Munchkin that like you have to rip the card up, run around the table, sing a song, and do something, and you get like 2 more hit points.
Yeah, it's a fun element to a game that you know that like this is the only time you're ever going to play this. You know?
Yeah.
Well, it's great.
I love the fact that it takes the collectability out of it. You know?
My friend Dan, we were at Comic Palooza, and he bought one of those little like POW dolls of Stan Lee, and he had Stan sign it when he went and got the autograph. Well, he's in there playing Munchkin, and they had a bunch of bookmarks at the front. So we're like, "Hey, dude, use your bookmark." Well, his bookmark basically was related to that toy. For every one of those toys in the entire room you were in, you could bring and set on the table, you gain that much. So, like, he had this thing he had to attack that was like a 40 because everyone buffed it up, and he's like a 6.
Yeah.
So, like, he spends 20 minutes running around this entire, like, how many thousand square feet game room do you think that was?
It was ballroom.
It was a big ballroom. And he comes back with his head down because no one had one in the entire room.
Oh, it had to be a Stan Lee?
No, it had to be just any one of those.
Oh, with that
But, like,
brand or whatever?
You don't have to pay to get into Comic Palooza to go play in the game room. Because they did a platinum tournament a few years back up there for Magic. So it's one of those things where you can go to the game room. So a lot of the people in there like aren't going down to the shops and buying stuff. They're there to play like a 3-day like Dungeons and Dragons like, massive thing. And so he came back, his head was just down so much. Like we're laughing because of course we did it just to make someone run around the room and go do something.
Yeah.
And the fact that not a single other person. And then Don read the card and he's like, "Yeah, you know that they would have had to bring it back. You just couldn't count them, right?" So like he would have had to gone back out and remember where they were and like bring them back. But yeah, it was. I'm wondering that probably could be where a lot of that came from. The unhinged set. That'd be kind of interesting to.
Yeah, I mean the collectible card game thing got so serious.
Yeah.
Like in the late 90s. Because you had like that, what was it, 97 when like 50 card games came out, like collectible card games?
Yeah. That's really when I stopped paying attention to it.
They rode the wave, right? Because Magic started it all.
Well, this was like 98.
Yeah,
Like 1997, 1998. When
I
this
was
happened.
playing with Pogs up until
Dude,
probably-
Pogs were so. Dude.
I made my own Pog, son.
We had a friend with the CNC land, so yeah.
Oh, dude! Oh my god! I had the Pogs with the little finger indentions where you could just get that nice little flick in there and just. Oh,
I had one
loved
that was
it.
about 6 inches thick.
Oh yeah.
So like my friends wouldn't play with me because they didn't want their
You just-
Pogs to get dented.
Just drop it. I remember the Pog machine.
Yeah.
You remember you just slide like, oh, I like this picture, and you slide a blank in there, and you're like, I got some Pog.
Yeah, I remember a lot of 8th grade or both 7th and 8th grade were like, I brought Magic, taught you how to play it, and then slowly over the course of like a couple of months, Magic slowly got banned.
Yep. Oh yeah. 'Cause we went to a Christian school,
Yeah.
so it was like, you bringing the devil into the Christian house? No, sir.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
First thing to go was like black.
Oh yeah.
Second thing to go was red.
Oh, they immediately were just like, it's all the devil.
You can play mono white and that's it.
Yeah.
And it has to be an angel
Yep.
or a human because there's
It had to be angels. It had to be horses. Then I brought a card. It was called Wrath of God.
Oh no.
Magic done, banned forever.
Nope.
And it was a white card too, so you were kind
It was
of
a white card, yeah. So like, oh, I guess they're all bad. And then we started bringing Pogs.
And then we got yelled at because we played Pog on. They had the crappiest balsa wood
Particle board.
particle board tables, and we would just get on
Yeah.
it, man. And
Oh, we were
would-
putting some stank on them slammers, man.
dents. All I remember in 8th grade was Pogs and Capri Sun that I stole from this man, and that was because my mom made bologna sandwiches. I had bologna sandwich every day.
I always wondered what
bringing
happened.
no
why,
cheese.
why this is how you ended up.
No cheese.
Bologna and bread is what
Bologna
does it.
and bread. It was tiny prison. It was a little bitty prison.
For the entirety of like 7th and 8th grade, well, about halfway through 7th grade, it got to the point where I was asking my grandma, I was like, well, you can go ahead and pack like 2 Capri Suns and 2
Yes.
snack packs because one snack pack and 1 Capri Sun would go to him.
Oh, I loved it. And then when I went to his house later on when we got older, she'd buy me like Jack in the Box. I was like, this is the greatest house in the world. Because I'd be like, I could go home and eat like gravy and rice and some toast. Or I could hang out with this dude and just get fat as shit off some
I
Jack in the
remember
Box
the
right
flood.
now.
I remember the flood and
Allison.
Allison.
Wow.
It had a
The
name. It had a name.
Yeah, Allison. The first time I went over to your house, I was there for like a long time.
Been installing my very first zip drive. Had 300 meg.
The
zip
300
disk.
meg. I had the 350
No, I'm
meg.
sorry, 100 meg.
Oh.
300 total. Split that into threes.
Oh.
So, and
Whenever your mom was making,
it was harsh. Hey, man, when you got. Sometimes that's government cheese, you know. Government cheese don't go down easy.
All your money
because
went to
it
Magic
was
Cards and Pogs.
it was shit on a shingle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it was like yeah.
It was straight Harris County prison shit on a shingle too.
But it was like Alpo.
Did you eat like cold waffles for breakfast?
Tell about the time. Tell about the time.
My dad absolutely loved Sam's Club. And he would go to Sam's Club and buy bulk, and it would just be a random item. One day it was compressed ham, and we had to slice it up. And I tell you how fucking good seared up ham in like a log on some toast is at about 11:30 at night when you've been browsing the net and you're just like, man, I got a hunger about me. I need some of that nice brown seared
some nourishment.
pressed ham right now. And so you just we would deep freeze it. We had a deep freezer. And so the item after that was Eggo waffles. They had a deal on Eggo waffles. We had a shit ton of Eggo waffles that we would just eat constantly.
Like a metric shit.
Sir, when I tell you we had more waffles than we absolutely needed, it would be the understatement of the decade.
It was lined front to back.
It looked like
floor to the top. No shelves in the refrigerator.
Dude,
it was just a wall of waffles.
Imagine Fort Knox, except of waffles.
Nice.
Because they didn't want to break the stack. Like when he showed it to me, he's like, check the, like his dad was so proud. He's like, yeah, check this out. I opens the refrigerator and
I opened it up and he's like, God damn, that's a lot of waffles. And I was like, dude, I figured out you could put Hershey on a waffle. You can just eat a waffle plain. You can eat a waffle with chicken. That was my first chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles? What kind of chicken? If you did Eggo waffles.
Oh, it was chicken nuggets and an Eggo waffle sandwich.
Oh.
And it was, it's the reason I'm going to die.
You should write a cookbook.
Oh, sir. Every dessert would just be those little freezy pops. And all the recipe would be.
Were they homemade?
No. These were the freezy pops. I ate a lot of freezy pops.
The ones that kind of burned?
The ones
So not the legit ones. These are like the round ones you got at like
the ones that make you look like the Joker. That cut the side of your lips up when you ate them because you put them in your mouth and you did the finger thing.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Get all the juice
Yeah.
out. Oh man, but yeah, I ate Eggo waffles anyway. I put baked beans on Eggo waffles. I ate Eggo waffles just for fun sometimes. It was Eggo waffles and syrup. Like everybody does that.
Yeah, with a little butter.
Yeah. But then I started like Eggo waffles and I don't know, hamburgers.
Did you ever make like Eggo waffle quesadillas?
I didn't even get that fancy with it. I put Eggo waffles. I had Eggo waffles, and I put chili on it and cut up some hot dogs.
So, were you wanting a hot dog and you didn't have any buns, or were you wanting like just?
No. I just wanted to get rid of these damn Eggo waffles because if I didn't get rid of them,
so you had to find a way to incorporate them into everything.
It was like that dude who won the bet who ate the airplane. It was just a little bit of airplane and everything. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of airplane on everything I eat, and eventually this airplane's going to disappear. And so that was it. I just figured out a way to go fucking put Eggo in it. It could be like, we're having soup. I'm like, I'm dipping an Eggo in it. You want some alphabet soup? I was like, with some Eggo, I definitely do.
Tomato soup with egg.
Trying to catch letters.
Oh, dude, I was like, we was like playing Connect Four with the little dots. It was like, that's eggs, bitch.
You should have done your homework on them. Just turn them.
Yeah,
in.
that'd been fun if I went to school.
Your dietary requirements have always been like when you never ate breakfast, but when one time you introduced me to the Kenneth Pete Power Breakfast, which was like 6 eggs and a tube of Owens.
Yep,
Nice.
Tube of Owens, baby. Just cut it up. Julian still makes that for dinner sometimes, and I got to put a little seasoned salt off in it.
Oh, you spicing it up now.
So it's a little Tony Sacheries.
Oh.
That's a sponsor, man. He should come on board. I like that. I like Tony Sacheries on my Pete Power Breakfast. That's a plug, son. But put a splash in there, man, and it's just a good day. It was a good day after you go to the bathroom. Well, it's a good day after that, and then you're just like, I'm not hungry all day.
No, because I asked him, was like, so 6 eggs and a tube of Owens, just you. He's like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just all of it.
Cut it up, baby. And if you want to get freaky, you put 12 eggs if you're feeling a protein punch. But no.
If you feel like you ain't running stairs after that.
Oh, you are.
I do.
Run
I do
anywhere.
a very heavy breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays. Usually,
No,
it's like
we started this thing with with my little boy Connor for.
I gotta
Donut
see
Sunday.
you after a heavy. I gotta see you after a heavy breakfast. I've seen you after a heavy dinner where you just grow the Forrest Whitaker eye,
Yeah.
and it stays that way because you're gonna pass out any second.
the problem with heavy breakfast is it usually means I'm having a mimosa.
Ooh.
And that mimosa is half a bottle of Corbel Extra Dry and a splash of orange juice.
Oh my god!
Like,
So essentially, you just take a shot of whiskey and just take a spoon of Tang, and you're just like,
It's like someone just flicked a seed out of an orange at you.
Yeah,
Like-
we
like-
buy one of those little ones. Like a lot of times, I'll go to Jack in the Box to get breakfast if I don't want to cook, and they have like the little bitty bottles. That's enough for like 4 mimosas.
oh wow,
Like 4 times, like 4 bottles of champagne for that one little bottle.
oh geez,
Yeah.
See, and I don't drink. I haven't found. Well, I can't say I don't drink. I don't drink regularly because I haven't found anything that's beautiful to drink yet.
Oh, we should
I
hang
will say, I was in Vegas a couple of years ago, and I found out that mojitos are like a York peppermint patty that makes you dizzy, and that was my shit, man. I was sitting there playing the only slot machine I've ever had fun at, and I was just like, bring me another fucking awesome green leaf fucking things. I didn't know what they were called, and so
With the green leaf, please.
yeah, bring me the green leaf, please. And so she just kept bringing. I was like, here's $1. Here's $1. Here's $1. And around 5 or 6, I was like, well, this machine stopped paying out. And I went to stand up, and I just sat back the fuck back down. And I just continued playing on that damn machine because I was like, I am done. And I could see the elevator up to my room.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Nope, can't make it.
Man, that's real far. I was like, there better be some cool shit between here and there because I'm going to need to sit down.
Was it worse than the time at Chad's house that you got your back popped by Jennifer
And I shook for about an hour and a half.
and you almost died? Your
It
head
was a
came a quarter of an inch from the corner of a coffee table and
Well,
you were just limp.
It was ridiculous.
You are an opportunistic asshole though. That's
I
the
am.
difference.
I
am.
'Cause
had no clue.
He gets the massage, stands up, and Jennifer's like, "Take it easy." Take it easy.
And I was like-
go real slow. And the first thing out of your mouth is, "Hey, monkey, walk to that couch."
Oh, and all I did, I
Was
remember
fall forward.
because that was
Dude,
during
one step and gravity got you.
Dude, that was during the IV of Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
that you
used to
referred
have the bottle caps of
I
Mountain Dew
drank
in the backpack.
5. I drank at least at the Verge. I drank at least 5 20 ounces a day, more like 7 most days.
Yeah,
I
you had the
drank-
caps to prove it.
Oh, I had a backpack, and I never redeemed them. I'm pretty sure I had a car or something with Mountain Dew on it in that damn backpack, and I never redeemed it. I was like, I'm gonna get a backpack. I'm gonna get a Trapper Keeper.
You tried
It's
to
gonna
get
be
a free
awesome.
case for the wedding, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
oh yeah. I
'Cause you
tried.
were going to toast. You were going to toast
we
Mountain
did-
Dew at your wedding.
We did get a case. They sent us a coupon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they sent us a coupon. That's what I toasted with was Mountain Dew at my wedding.
Nice.
And then yeah, they sent me free to like enjoy your wedding and your diabetes. That's fun. But yeah,
Here's a gallon of yellow number
yeah.
5.
There you go. I will say,
Romance is doing a little arm curl and injecting each other with the
Mountain Dew.
insulin.
oh man, it was. I will
When
say
you
that
get the fetus.
that yellow 5 stuff. That's a myth. I got 2 boys. I looked at my wife wrong, and she got pregnant. That was all she wrote. So that yellow number 5. Unless you got some weak swimmers. Here's what I put it. If that's not the case, then I'm glad I drank 5. Mountain Dew. And,
You ended up with like the Fukushima,
Yeah. the
bread,
daisy sperm, where there's just shit was growing out, it had 7 heads.
Yeah.
And it just was finding an egg, and it was like fucking Michael Phelps swimming through there.
Yeah, wait till Connor's like 7. He's lifting stuff with his head. He keeps getting kicked out of first grade.
Yep, exactly.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, it was oh man. But yeah, that was
Good times.
my dietary needs are interesting. That is not an
I
understatement.
really cannot remember how we went from magic
because I'm here.
to Ken's Power Breakfast.
Oh son,
Oh, that's we were just talking about old times, man.
I know.
Talking about
what's
old
wrong with
times.
this?
Yeah, for those listening, if you're here for magic, listen to the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, and then you're done after that.
But if you're real people and you want to have a good time, you're still listening. Cajun
yeah.
Grill in Greens Point.
Oh man, the blackened chicken. Blackened chicken never hurt nobody.
Yep.
Oh, it was good until about 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
all day.
that's where Space City Con was last year. It was right around the corner from there, so I hit it up a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh.
I tried to go back.
No, you
I
can't
tried to go back.
You can't go back again.
On the way back, when I worked at the other company I worked for, that was in Kingwood. On the way back one day, yeah, man, shoot, secrets. I don't want people knowing me. I got all the friends I want. On the way home from work one day, I left early and I was like, "Hey, it's 3:00. Greens Point, kind of safe."
At 3 o'clock, you're okay.
Yeah,
3 o'clock,
Well,
you're
they
okay.
also put a police station in the mall.
Yeah.
So you're kind of even better.
If you stay within 100 yards of Greens Road, you're safe at 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I go in. I go to Cajun Grill. I'm like, I'm gonna get me some Cajun Grill tonight. That's gonna be dinner. And that man,
Can't go back. Can't go home again.
you can't go home again.
You can't go home.
You can't go home again. I called in sick the next day.
Oh, wow.
And the day after that was
A rough day.
tumultuous.
A big thesaurus word.
Yeah.
I try now to drink a Mountain Dew. If I take a sip of Mountain Dew, I'm like, I'm done. No, I can't.
What about those new Mountain Dew energy drinks now?
Don't drink it. All I drink is water.
I figured you might.
I have to.
You're trying to get all that baloney out of you.
Oh, dude, it's still in there.
Like Mountain Dew, bologna, and Eggos is like the worst combination.
Yeah. I got.
Yeah, you're still one of the skinniest people.
I know my wrists look. How am I intimidating? Look at these wrists. These wrists ain't hurting
But
nobody.
the interesting thing, like since you've stopped the toxins, like every massage for you is like therapy.
Oh, yeah.
You just keep revisiting, like, oh, there's the pig anus.
Chemical
Like,
flashbacks.
Chemical flashbacks.
Yep. Oh, it's insane, man.
They're gonna hit one spot on your back. Well, since this is relevant because it was playing downstairs when we got here, they're gonna hit one spot on your back, and all of a sudden the theme from MASH is gonna start playing.
Nice.
That's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
your NAM.
Oh man,
Nice.
nothing wrong with MASH. But y'all need to have some Mama's Family up on the tube next time.
Nobody else likes Mama's Family, man.
Negative.
What?
Nope.
I you know what? I actually I know this because I heard it. I brought it up subconsciously because I was like, we're gonna slip this in. How do you not like Mama's Family?
I don't. It's so annoying. I don't like people, and there's people on that show.
You like MASH, and that's nothing but people and people cutting up people.
It's hard for me to watch.
I love
MASH
MASH
now.
too. I
it's
love
hard
MASH.
for me to watch MASH.
What's
now.
your favorite shows? I
Well-
feel like we should like pause this and like have this conversation in the next podcast, like a real podcast. 'Cause this is going on.
We're
forever.
already going there, and we're probably over an hour.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll chop it up, and plus the guys should be coming back soon. You want to
They're
chop it up?
probably already back.
We'll quit it.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yep.
Tapcast.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Until next time.
Yeah, guys.